Slavery, as practiced in the United States before the Civil War, was one of the most dehumanizing experiences known to mankind. Consequently, many slaves tried to escape, but few were successful. Historians tell us of the probable slave population at that time, which was about 4 million, only about 1/50th of 1% made it to freedom. And this was planned by the slave owners and the whole Southern police system. They saw to it that the slaves were kept in as much ignorance as possible about the outside world and the world beyond the plantation. However, some did make it. And when they reached the North, it was very common for a slave to tell his story of his escape. And thus we have the whole body of slave narrative literature, which is so important to our whole black ethnic heritage. And it's also very important for the total understanding of American history. Historians also tell us that not all of the stories were authentic, that the slaves sometimes drew upon their imagination and perhaps were not accurate. Of the many slave narratives, there is one that is authentic. Historians have so documented it. This is the story on which I was raised. It is the escape of William and Ellen Craft, my great-grandparents. Ellen was the daughter of her owner, and William lived in an adjacent plantation, apprenticed out to a cabinet maker. And though they did not suffer the same cruelties of slavery that many others suffered, they were determined to be free and to escape. And because they loved each other very much and wanted to have a family, they decided to find some way to escape so that they could have children and raise them in freedom. This story, this authentic story of their escape, which has been written by William Craft, is entitled Running 1,000 Miles to Freedom.
My wife is almost white, so nearly so that the lady who first owned her became so annoyed at her being mistaken for a child of the family that she gave her to her daughter as a wedding present.
But he will scorn them when he tires.
It was almost impossible to escape from slavery. We thought of plan after plan, but they all seemed crowded with too many difficulties.
That man's desire is blinded thus, whose loving is but covetous.
We labored and prayed until September 1848, when a plan suggested itself. Knowing that slaveholders have the privilege of taking their slaves to any part of the country, it occurred to me that as my wife was nearly white, I might dress her up as a young white gentleman. She would look to be my master and I her slave, and in this way we might have some chance of escaping. I went to different parts of the town at odd times and bought articles for her disguise piece by piece. I took them to the house where my wife lived. She was a lady's maid and a favorite of the family and was allowed a little room off to herself. When the disguise was ready, all we needed was the right moment. We knew it was customary for slave owners to give their best slaves a few days off at Christmas. We decided to make our escape then. If we could get a pass.
You gotta get a pass, Ellen. You tell them it's for Christmas. You can try. I know I can get a pass. I know I can. No trouble.
The cabinet maker with whom I worked gave me a pass, but he also gave me strict instructions to return as soon as the time was up. I thanked him kindly. After much trouble, my wife also got a pass from her mistress.
Read it.
You know I can't read. Neither can you.
How am I gonna write my name in that hotel register at Charleston, seeing as I can't read or write the same as you? How'd you plan that, William? It's a dream, no more than that.
Let's think again. You're my master, and I'm your nigger, and we traveling up north because you mighty sick. We gotta see some doctors in Philadelphia.
I suppose if we tie my arm up in a bandage, nobody expect me to write nothing. Nobody else could do it for me. The clerk, anybody.
Could you do that, Ellen? You bet you can. You bet you can.
Something else. I ain't never shaved before in my life, but I don't know what...
You ain't never shaved before. Can't be no man if you can't shave.
By the looks of things, I ain't never going to need it. So get me some of them bandages so I can tie up my face.
You think of anything else?
Yes. Find me some of them specs with the green-colored glass. And I don't want nobody looking in my face and seeing how scared I am. William, I'm scared to death.
Turn around. Come here, let me see.
It's all right?
It's every inch a gentleman.
Every other inch. Let's start with the bandages.
You sure look sick. But you sure look good.
I'm gonna cry. Can't help it.
Come on, Ellen, it'll be all right. It'll be all right, Ellen. Make it. Don't worry.
Just before it was time to leave, I cut off my wife's hair square at the back of the head. I found that she made a most respectable young gentleman. Everything appeared to be as still as death. We stepped out as softly as moonlight on the water.
It's a very fine morning, sir.
My master feigned deafness as the best means of self-defense.
It's a very fine morning, sir. It's a very fine morning,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
The day is far off, I think so, when medical science will have a cure for deafness.
Indeed, sir. Unless, of course, you believe in miracles, which I don't, quite frankly. For instance, the African race is a great deal lazier than any other race. Well, it's a scientific fact. It's been proven beyond doubt. Yet all of us pray that a miracle will transform the nigger into a hard-working, diligent servant.
But the niggers work for only one reason, sir. Merely to avoid the lash. Why, it's a fact that if you moved all the white people from Virginia and gave it to the niggers there now, why, in 10 years' time, not 1 acre of land would be cultivated. Not one, I tell you. Except that which grew by accident.
No doubt you're right, sir. But there's one thing worse than the nigger's idleness. A disease which has recently taken away one of my very best. This Dr. Cartwright has a name for it. He calls it drapetomania. But he admits he hasn't found a cure for it yet.
Drapetomania? Why, what does that affect, sir? The arms, the lungs, or perhaps the head?
Oh, God knows. Well, the legs mostly, I guess. See, sir, drapetomania is the disease which makes them run away. A disease, so the good doctor says, which is peculiar to niggers. Wouldn't you agree, sir? Oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot.
He comes to dinner every Thursday. Next week when he comes, I hope we're in Philadelphia. I wonder what they'll talk about. William and me, I suppose.
We arrived in Savannah early in the evening and got into a carriage which took us to a steamer bound for Charleston, South Carolina. I paced the deck for several hours and then asked the steward where I could sleep. He said there was no place for colored passengers. So I found some cotton bags in a warm place near the funnel and sat there till morning.
That's Lieutenant Poe you have, sir. If you're going north, you'd better watch him like a hawk. I know several gentlemen that have lost some valuable niggers to those damned abolitionists. I say keep a sharp lookout.
Sound doctrine, Captain. Very sound.
Here's a cracker if ever I saw one.
I would never take a nigger
Just like a rattler, he gives himself away by the noise he makes.
Now, stranger, if you have a mind to sell that there nigger, I'm your man. You just mention your price, and if it isn't out of the way, I'll pay you for him in hard silver dollars. What do you say, stranger?
That I do not wish to sell, sir. Run well without it.
Listen, I can tell by the cut of his eye that he's going to run away just as soon as you cross Mason's and Dixon's line.
No, sir. I have great faith in his fidelity.
Fiddlesticks! Devil! Oh, it makes me mad to hear a man talk about fidelity in niggers. There isn't a damn one of them that wouldn't cut sticks if he had half a chance.
And that's the truth.
Captain, I tell you, if I was president of this mighty United States of America, the greatest and freest country under the whole universe, I would never let no man, I don't care who he is, take a nigger into the North and then bring him back down here, filled with those damned abolitionist vices to taint all quiet niggers with the spirit of running away. Now, these are my flat-footed, everyday, right up and down sentiments, and I don't care who hears them.
I say hooray for the South and South Carolina.
Yes, sir.
You will excuse me, sir. You're saying you're very likely to spoil that boy of yours by saying thank you to him. Oh, I assure you, there's no sooner way to spoil a slave than by saying thank you and if you please to him. No, there's only one way to make a nigger toe the line. And that's by storming like thunder at him. Keep him quivering like a leaf. Jesus! My luggage ready? Yes, sir. Secured? God damn it, boy! You secured or I'll drum you all the way to hell and back again. Now get out of here. He doesn't consider that an idle threat either. Once I beat him so bad, he was in the infirmary for a month. Damned expensive, too. Why, I spend more on... Well, you yourself are sick.
When we arrived at the hotel in Charleston, the landlord ran out, and judging that my young master was an invalid, took him tenderly by the arm.
Your master, he's some big bug, huh?
Yeah, he's some pumpkin. They didn't even ask us to register. Ooh, wee boy.
From Charleston, we took the steamer to Wilmington, North Carolina, and then the train to Richmond, Virginia. At Richmond, we changed to the train for Fredericksburg. A lady whose appearance showed that she belonged, as Mrs. Stowe's Aunt Chloe expresses it, to one of the firstest families, sat across from my master.
I never saw two black pigs look more alike than your boy and my Ned. I hope your boy doesn't turn out to be so worthless as my Ned.
When did he leave you?
About 18 months ago.
Did he have a wife?
No, sir, not when he left. He did have one shortly before that, though. She was as unlike him as she could be. She was good and faithful. But the poor thing took so ill, I thought it best to sell her. Now she's down in New Orleans where it's nice and warm.
I suppose she was glad to go south.
No, sir, she was not. Negroes never know what's best for them.
Was she an attractive woman?
She was very handsome. And as white as I am, she'll have no trouble finding another husband. She was a good Christian, too. She always used to pray for my soul.
As she was so very good before she lost her health, don't you think it would have been better to emancipate her?
No, sir, I certainly do not. I have no patience with those people who want to free the niggers. That is the very worst thing you could do for them. I care nothing for the niggers on my own account with them all trouble than they're worth. Always running off.
Since you are so well provided for, I suppose you don't feel the loss.
Not at all. But that is no reason why property should be squandered. My dear brother, who is a good Christian minister, has advised me not to worry my soul to hell for the sake of the niggers, but to sell every blessed one of them for whatever the market will fetch and go and live in peace with him in New York.
Your brother, ma'am, being such a good Christian minister, don't you find it strange that he did not advise you to give them their liberty?
No, sir, I don't find it strange at all. My brother understands how to handle the slaves. He has always told me that they're much better off than the negroes living in the North.
You are quite wrong, madam. Why, my own mother, my own widowed mother, before she died, emancipated all her slaves and sent them to Ohio, where they're getting along very well.
Mine shall never have it, and that is the word with the bark on it.
Well, if freedom won't do for your slaves, I have no doubt that Ned, and all the others too, will soon find out their mistake and return to their old home.
Damn and blast them! The niggers will make me lose all my religion.
If you have religion, may the devil prevent me from ever being converted.
If she knew who and what I am, she'd faint dead away.
At Fredericksburg, we took the steamer for Washington.
Oh, she went down to the middle, went down herself, mighty-ho.
A drunken planter who had been watching me very closely called to my master.
I reckon you're spoiling that nigger of yourn wearing such a devilish fine hat. Just look at the quality in that. President himself couldn't wear better. I reckon I'll just take that and just kick it all overboard.
We docked at Washington and hurried to the train for Baltimore. We had left Macon on Wednesday morning, the 21st of December, and arrived at Baltimore on Christmas Eve. We felt more nervous than ever because they are particularly careful to stop slaves from escaping into Pennsylvania, which is a free state.
Boy, where are you going?
Philadelphia, sir.
For what purpose?
I'm traveling with my master.
You better get him out, and be mighty quick about it. The train will be leaving soon. It's against my rules to let any man take a slave past here, unless he can satisfy the chief officer that he has a right to take him along.
You wish to see me, sir?
Yes,
Why is that?
because, sir, we cannot let any slave pass here unless we have security to show and to satisfy that everything is indeed in order. Is there anyone who can endorse you and show us that this slave is, in fact, your property?
No.
Suppose you were an abolitionist and this slave were not your property. Well, if he were to escape, we would have to compensate his rightful owner. Those are the rules.
It's a dream, no more than that.
It'll be all right. It'll be all right. We'll make it.
Drapetomania is a disease which makes them run away. A disease which is peculiar to niggers. Wouldn't you agree, sir?
Yes, sir.
I have no patience with those people who want to free the niggers. That is the very worst thing you can do for them. Niggers never know what's best for them.
I would not take a nigger up north under no consideration.
Hey, you! Hey, you! You! Those are the rules.
We felt as though we had come into very rough waters and were being overwhelmed. And the slightest mistake...
Let him on. The train's leaving. Come on, let him on. Open the doorway. Here it goes. Oh, that's terrible. Terrible.
Oh, tell the conductor to let this gentleman and his slave pass.
On Christmas Day, 1848, we arrived in Philadelphia.
From Philadelphia, the crafts moved on to Boston, where it was thought they could live a safer and happier life. In Boston, they met many famous abolitionists who helped them. Reverend Theodore Parker, Wendell Phillips, William Lloyd Garrison, and other members of the anti-slavery movement, which was greatly aided by Frederick Douglass. However, the passage of the Fugitive Slave Act made life very perilous for the Crafts and other escaped slaves. And so they were advised to move on, and they fled to England. In England, they were aided by members of the anti-slavery movement there. Many years later, when the Civil War was over, William Craft and Ellen returned to America. They brought with them 4 of their 5 children, and it was then that they discovered what it was like and is to be black in America.
I would like a room
And that will be for yourself, will it, madam?
for myself and my husband.
And, where is your husband?
He's with the baggage.
I see your servant.
You are looking at my husband.
There must be some mistake. You had no reservation? I'm sorry.